In this video, we're going to look at something called the factor theorem. The factor theorem is not a complicated idea, and it's one that's cropped up basically without that name already. But it's formalizing it is really useful and will allow us to solve some kind of neat problems. So let's have a look at it. So the factor theorem is really just a special case of the remainder theorem. Remember that the remainder theorem says if you've got a polynomial, f of x, then to work out the remainder, when you divide f of x by x minus a, well, the remainder is simply going to be f of a. Now, there's an interesting special case here, which is what if f of a equals 0? So if f of a equals 0, well, then there's no remainder. And if there's no remainder, then it means that x minus a must have been a factor of f of x. So if f of a equals 0, then x minus a is a factor of f of x. That's the factor theorem. And that's totally analogous to the case with numbers. So for example, if I do 20 divided by 3, my answer is 6, remainder 2. So the fact that we got a remainder means that 3 is not a factor of 20. But if I do 20 divided by 4, I get 5. And there is no remainder. Or rather, the remainder is 0. And since there's no remainder, it means that 4 is a factor of 5. Is that true? Yes, of course it is. 4 is a factor of 5. So that's the analogous case with numbers. So if f of a is 0, then x minus a is a factor of f of x. So we can use this really neatly, and in particular we can use it to guess factors quite quickly. Let's have a look at that. So f of x equals 3x cubed minus 2x squared minus 7x minus 2. By finding a factor of f of x using trial and error, fully factorise f of x and hence solve f of x equals 0. All right, so where should I start with my guesses? Here are the numbers that I would recommend guessing as factors. They are never, when I say they, I mean exams rather than life. Life can give you all sorts of messy cubics, but in exams, you're never going to get a cubic that has insane factors. So you don't need to be guessing 71 or guessing 46. You know, guess 1, okay? See if 1 is a factor, right? Or see if f of 1 equals 0. That would mean that x minus 1 is a factor. Guess minus 1. That would mean that x plus 1 is a factor. Guess 2. That would mean that x minus 2 is a factor, and so on. Just try the easy stuff. Okay, just try, honestly, it's probably going to be one of those. If it's none of those, try 3 and minus 3. But to be honest, it's probably going to be one of those. So let's try 1. Okay, so let's see if x minus 1 is a factor. So what is f of 1? Well, f of 1 is 3 times 1 cubed, which is 3, minus 2 times 1 squared, which is 2, minus 7 times 1, minus 2. And all of that is minus 8. Yeah, 3 minus 2 is 1, minus that is minus 6. Yeah, it's minus 8. The point is, it's not 0. So f of 1 is not 0, so x minus 1 is not a factor. Let's try f of minus 1. So 3 times negative 1 cubed. Negative 1 cubed is negative 1, so that's minus 3. Negative 1 squared is 1, so minus 2 lots of that is minus 1. Sorry, minus 2. Minus 7 times minus 1 is plus 7, and minus 2. Aha, minus 3 minus 2 is minus 5. Plus 7 is 2, minus 2 is 0. Okay, so there it is. See, we found a factor. So since I've found, and now we won't bother with the rest. Okay, it might turn out that one or two of these are factors later, but if we can get one of the factors, we'll be good. Okay, so let's divide by x plus 1. We know that x plus 1 is a factor, so I can divide by it. So we'll set up our grid, x plus 1, and the quotient, to use the fancy term, must be a quadratic, because quadratic times linear is cubic. So here's my grid. And where can I begin? Well, I begin with the 3x cubed. And that's got to sit here because that must have appeared from multiplying the x squared, sorry, the x by 3x squared. 3x squared times x is 3x cubed. 3x squared times 1 is 3x squared, but I needed minus 2x squared, so I better have a minus 5x squared here, such that minus 5x squared plus 3x squared is minus 2x squared. That means we must have had a minus 5x here, because minus 5x times x is minus 5x squared. Minus 5x times 1 is minus 5x, but that's not what I need minus 7x. So I need another minus 2x here, because minus 2x minus 5x is minus 7x. That means I needed a minus 2 here, because minus 2 times x is minus 2x, and finally minus 2 times 1 is minus 2. And that matches up, and that's just our little check that we've made no errors and we found a factor. Okay, great. So now I know that f of x is x plus 1 multiplied by 3x squared minus 5x minus 2. So now I need to factorize this. So I know in recent videos I've been cutting corners and just kind of trying to factorize out on the fly, but I'm going to remind you how the AC method works here to factorize this. So we find a times c, so that's 3 times negative 2, which is negative 6. Two numbers that multiply to give negative 6 and add to give negative 5. Well, that would be 1 and negative 6. So, okay, so we can rewrite this. So I'm just going to fully factorize this bit first, and I'll kind of stitch it all together into f of x later. So that is the same as 3x squared plus x minus 6x minus 2. Fully factorize the first two, and that I can pull out a factor of x here, and I'm left with 3x plus 1. I can pull out a factor of minus 2 here, and I'm left with 3x plus 1. Great, and then 3x plus 1 is a factor of both of these, so 3x plus 1, and we multiply that by x minus 2. So there we go, that bit's fully factorized now, and that means that f of x fully factorized is x plus 1 times 3x plus 1 times x minus 2. And finally, if I want to solve when f of x equals 0, I can see that's going to be the case when x is minus 1, when x is minus a third, and when x is 2. And there we have it, fully solved and beautifully factorized and the whole thing done. Remember that you can check this using your calculator. I'll show you that now, just as a reminder. All right, so as a reminder of this, here's our calculator. We get a menu, go down to equation solver. It's a polynomial, degree 3 because it's cubic. Key it in, 3x cubed minus 2x squared minus 7x minus 2. And our answers are 2. Did we get that? Yep, 2 minus a third and minus 1. So there we go, we got all of them. All right, so that is the factor theorem. That's how we can use it. Let's look at some more examples. Okay, f of x equals 4x cubed plus px squared minus 25x plus 6. Given that x minus 2 is a factor of f of x, find p and hence solve f of x equals 0. All right, so if x minus 2 is a factor of f of x, then f of 2 must equal 0. If f of 2 equals 0, then I can just sub 2 into my equation. So that's going to be 4 times 2 cubed plus p times 2 squared minus 25 times 2 plus 6, and all of that should equal 0. Now we've got actually a very straightforward equation. So 4 times 8 is 32, and then p times 4 is 4p, minus 25 times 2, which is 50, plus 6, and all of that equals 0. So 4p equals, well, it's going to be, what have we got over here? We've got 32 minus 50 plus 6, and so that's negative 12. So if I add 12 to both sides, I've got this. Dividing both sides by 4, p is 3. So really nice simple application of the factor theorem there. If x minus 2 is a factor, then f of 2 is 0. One more example. So f of x equals 2x cubed plus ax squared plus bx plus 6. Given that x minus 1 and x plus 2 are factors of f of x, find a and b, and hence find the third factor. Oh, that reminds me, we didn't actually finish this question here. Hence solve f of x equals 0, so we didn't do that. That was naughty. So what I now know is that f of x is equal to 4x cubed plus plus 3x squared, because I've worked out what p is, 3x squared, minus 25x plus 6. I also know that x minus 2 is a factor, so I can divide f of x by that. So I'll just do that here. X minus 2. And so I'm going to get a quadratic equation up here. So what begins? Well, so I need to be 4x cubed. So it's going to be 4x squared up here. And 4x squared times negative 2 is minus 8x squared. And I'm looking for 3x squared, so I better have a plus 11x squared here. So that's going to be an 11x up there. Now, 11x times minus 2 is minus 22x, but I needed a minus 25x, so I need another minus 3x here. So that's going to be a minus 3, because minus 3 times x is minus 3x. Minus 2 times minus 3 is 6, so that matches up with that, so that's all good. Okay, so now I know that f of x equals x minus 2 multiplied by 4x squared plus 11x minus 3, and factorizing this using whatever method you like, or if you're really under time pressure in exam, just using your calculator to just solve where that equals 0. This one does factorize. We get 4x, and we get x plus 3 and minus 1 here, so that's 4x squared, and then we get 12x minus x is the 11x and minus 3. And so when is that equal to 0? It's equal to 0 when x equals 2, or for this bracket, when x equals 1/4, or when x equals negative 3. So there we go, fully solved. Right, on to the last one. So given that x minus 1 and x plus 2 are factors, find a and b, and hence find the third factor. Well, if they're both factors, then f of 1 should be 0. And what is f of 1? Well, f of 1 is 2 times 1 cubed, which is 2, plus a times 1 squared, which is a, plus b times 1, which is b, plus 6, and all of that should be 0. So neatened up, I know that a plus b should equal negative 8. Okay, because 2 plus 6 is 8, and subtract it from both sides. Maybe you're already getting the sense that simultaneous equations are on the way, because look, I've got one equation with two unknowns, and I'm about to get another one here. F of minus 2 should be 0 because x plus 2 is a factor, and f of minus 2 is 2 times negative 2 cubed. Negative 2 cubed is negative 8, and 2 of those is negative 16. And negative 2 squared is 4, so we're going to get 4a. And negative 2 times b is minus 2b. And finally, plus 6 is plus 6. So what have we got here? We have 4a minus 2b. Now, negative 16 plus 6 is negative 10. Add that to both sides and it's 10. Except I might as well divide this whole thing by 2 since everything is even. So there's my second equation. Now I can solve this simultaneously with this equation, the one from above, by just adding these two lines together. Adding them together, my negative b and my b cancel. 2a plus a is 3a, and 5 minus 8 is minus 3. That means that a is negative 1, and going back to this one, b would have to be -7. So b equals -7. So there we go. So I now know that f of x is 2x cubed minus x squared minus 1x squared minus 7x plus 6. And I also know that x minus 1 and x plus 2 are factors. Now, I'm going to show you a little very, very sneaky trick for this final step. We could divide by this and then factorize, or we could divide by this and factorize, or we could divide by this times this. Since both of these are factors, if I multiply these together, I could divide by that. I'm going to show you sort of advanced sneaky skill here. All right, here's the idea. F of x must be equal to x minus 1 times x plus 2 multiplied by some third linear factor. It has to be linear because it's linear times linear times linear is cubic, right? X times x is my x cubed there. But I can actually just figure out really easily what goes here, because this 2x cubed must have come from doing that times that times that. So what goes here? Well, it's definitely 2x, right? That's the only way I'm going to get 2x cubed, is by doing x times 2x. And what goes here? Well, it's got to be 6, and my 6 there comes from the 3 numbers multiplied, the 3 constants. Minus 1 times 2 times what gets me positive 6? Well, it's minus 3. It must be that, because minus 1 times 2 times minus 3 is 6. So no need for any long-winded division there, or grid method, nothing like that. Just in one go, get the answer. So really like those little shortcuts where they exist. But obviously, if you did do all the polynomial division, you'll get the same answer. So that if that equals 0, actually, no, it didn't say that. It just said find the third factor. The third factor was 2x minus 3. So there is the third factor. It didn't say solve when is f of x equal to 0. So I think that's pretty cool, kind of sneaky way of doing things. All right, hope that was useful, and I'll see you in the next video.